Assemblyman Vito Lopez has left the building, or at least one of them. The lawmaker resigned as of 9 a.m. this morning following accusations that he sexually harassed female aides. Assembly officials wasted no time in making him disappear. By 10:30 this morning, the nameplate outside his office had already been removed, and everybody was saying who when asked about him. But now attention has shifted to Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver. Some are calling for Teflon Shelley, as he's been called, to be ousted for his alleged role in a cover-up related to Lopez. Two reports show that Silver did little to stop Lopez and even authorized a secret payment of more than $103,000 in taxpayer money to hush up Lopez's alleged victims. Lopez, by the way, is already planning his next move. He is planning to run for the city council. First question is Albany related. How much of this was Shelley Silver looking after Shelley Silver? Because it seemed like the worm had turned on Vito Lopez and whatever Silver's role was in protecting him. Anybody
in my opinion, it was 100% the speaker looking out for his own interests. And like I said from day one, the moment I heard about this, what does Mr. Lopez know? Because the way they stood by him, and you know, he might actually win that city council race because the district, you made the point that they love him, and oftentimes in minority communities, because the media says one thing, the communities may go the exact opposite of what the media is saying. Do you think Silver's going to be investigated even trying to get the I don't know. The governor stood by him so far.
Who's going to investigate him? Who?
Right.
Who's going to do the problem?
I don't think he's going to be investigated, but I'll tell you what I think the shame is here, that not one of our elected officials has come out and held Shelley Silver to task for what happened in that office. The two women who were hired in April 2012, if that had not been kept secret, would not likely have been hired, or at least would have had the knowledge of what was going on in the office before they then too, according to the JCOP report, were sexually harassed. So he bears some accountability, and Democrats have not been willing, elected officials have not been willing to say that. He's protecting himself. The institution is protecting him just like it was protecting Vito Lopez. And these alleged victims have all been left aside.
Michael,
I know Michael disagrees.
Michael, Vito Lopez hasn't been convicted of anything. He hasn't been. He's just. These are just accusations.
In defense of Speaker Silver, there are institutional prerogatives and rights of the Assembly as a legislative body that need to be protected as well. Prior to this report being issued, prior to D.A. Donovan in Staten Island, you're laughing at me, but you know this is not just about the immediate case in front of us. Until this report happened.
I'm laughing because he is very well paid in terms of a strategist for what he does. But go ahead.
And he's worth every dime.
And worth every dime.
Thank you very, very much.
We're doing commercials here?
Accusations yes, accusations are just those, and until this report was issued, they were out there. And certainly Assemblyman Lopez had a certain reputation, but a lot of people have reputations, and a lot goes on in Albany where none of it excusable, none of it defensible, but until it rises above the level of rumor or accusations,
But
the Assembly has institutional prerogatives.
Why did he do a confidentiality agreement then?
And they didn't follow their own rules of reporting it to the Ethics Commission.
That is
the problem.
And that's what I think. First of all, this report by Donovan is disgusting. I mean, I haven't seen this since President Clinton in the Starr report. I mean, this is just absolutely outrageous.
You know?
This is much worse.
Yeah, that's.
Well, then the Donovan report, then the Starr report. But anyway, there's Democrats who are just, doing bad things.
Let's go 10,000 feet up for a second and see that everybody who Assemblyman Lopez advanced in city and state government is very happy to be free of him while they pursue their own ambitions. Candidates for mayor who brought chicken soup when he was feeling ill, who then supported him for important positions in the council, and deals that were made to support proteges in exchange for support, and see what they are relieved to be done.
Can I just say, at the very least, even if Silver remains and nobody comes out and says he should remove himself or be removed, at the very least, our elected officials have a responsibility to change the way these things are reported and the process by which this is done. It's the same thing we found in the military. It's the same thing we see in the
Newsday op-ed today. Jeannie Zeno, we need new institutional structures to fight sexual harassment.
Yeah, regardless of Silver.
I also think that, as Ed Cox, the state Republican chairman, said, we need a special prosecutor to investigate Well, what has happened? What other rules hasn't Shelley Silver followed? I mean, I think that's important to the institution and how it operates, especially for the public. I mean, he didn't forward this Vito Lopez incident to the ethics committee, and we already knew that he violated policy numerous times. But what other incidents did Shelley Silver not report to the ethics committee?
That's why
who else did he protect?
The guy ran a yellow light once, thinking it was more green than not. This is
this is more important than that.
Here comes my going too far question. Is there any way to keep Vito Lopez off the city council race? I mean, should he hasn't been convicted of anything yet, but this looks really bad. It's just up to voters.
Well, can I just say, thank goodness that Christine Quinn has come out and said she's going to fight against it. More of those candidates for mayor. Well, she's going to support the opponent. I think it's going to be hard to keep him out. I think he's got support.
That's going to mean a lot. Christine Quinn endorsing.
She had the guts to do it. At least she had the guts to do it. She's the only woman running, and she had the guts to do it. And those men should step up and do the same.
I think if he ever gets elected, I think the first incident of sexual harassment, the city council body should oust him.
If he gets elected, how does he ever get a staff? How does he ever put a staff together?
We'll work for money. We'll work for money.
Just went
People
through.
need jobs.
Absolutely.
People need jobs.
Especially in New York City with 10% unemployment. So.
Higher in African American communities, according to Andy.
This is absolutely true.
Michael, bring it all.
And we need to study that. We need to study that.
Up next, Chris Christie appears prominently in the Garden State's new tourism ad in the middle of a campaign season. Does it feel a little bit wrong, or is it just a Jersey tradition reliving itself? We're going to get into that and more next.